It's Tuesday, November 11th, Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans. And it's snow flurries today. The first time we're having snow flurries on Long Island. And I came out and I took this twisted hickory stave and I wanted to reduce it into what resembles a fairly nice bow blank, and then it'll be heat treated and straightened. But I had to do this in the snow flurries to remind myself how much I really hate winter, okay? So at some point, I'm gonna have to just get my old snowblower dug out and get it running, because I have a feeling this winter is gonna be a bad winter. Hopefully not. I hope you can see the spaces in between the board and the limbs because of the natural humps and bumps that are in the wood. And we just get it down as much as we can. Now this riser is an interesting riser section because it has a bow on the top. It's a bow. You're not going to take this big block of wood and level it out. You're just going to get it as snug as you can. See the big gap here? Now sometimes when you're fire hardening this will soften up enough that you can gently as it's fire hardening, pull it in a little bit more and make it a little more in line, but you'll never get these humps or any of the texture out of the wood. So you go nice and easy, and whatever it is, it is. Good morning. It's Thursday, November 13th, and this is that sort of twisted stave I had that I trimmed out to a bow blank, and it looked better as I trimmed it out, and it's going to make a nice bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, if I can here, how it looks. Okay, this riser, I have a center mark, and it's clamped in the center. And then you see over here it's not bad, and over here it starts going up. And you never ever want to just bend these bows and clamp them with any force, because you're ruining the fibers of the wood. So this is really just gently twisted, light, just to hold the clamps on. And what I'm going to do is take the heat gun and I'm going to heat the belly part of the bow that faces your belly from the mid riser section here out to the mid limb. And I'm going to do it about usually, not all the time, but usually with hickory, around 8 minutes of going an inch over the back and forth will get soft and pliable enough for me to bend this down. And then I do the outers and clamp them, okay? This is a 70-inch stave. It's going to be for somebody with a long draw, and I have the aggressive back set jig here. And after it's fire hardened, if I really wanted to use it for somebody shorter, I could trim the ends off and reshape it, and it'll have a nice back set to it, okay? So that's what I wanted to show you. Clamp the center. Don't put any pressure, just snug so the clamp's not going to fall off. Okay, and then you're going to heat 8 minutes from the center of the riser out, 8 minutes out, and you're going to go with the heat gun just about an inch off the bow. Okay, so that's it. That's the plan for today. Get this to conform to the jig. So we're going on close to 20 minutes here. And as we heated this, I got this almost flush, and I'm expanding to the outers. And this piece here was sticking out a few inches. And as I got it soft, I'll show you as I'm turning it. Watch. See it turning nice and easy? And I'm just turning it with like 2 fingers. And now it kind of stopped. And I still have an 1/8 of an inch or so to go. And that's fine. And it's okay, like I just put a little clamp here just to keep the whole thing down, but ideally you want to put another clamp in the middle. You don't want any bows. You want to kind of walk it in nice and level, okay? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to add another clamp here and continue to slowly adjust it until this whole thing is flush. And it'll be flush without any stress or pressure. So we had a clamp on the end. It's off now. I put a clamp closer to this bend. So this way that it'll bend nice without any bows in it. It'll bend kind of even. And we're going back and forth, and the time isn't important. You know, I just use the timer as a reference. It's going to be 20, 25 minutes, and the other side is probably going to be a little more. So as this is heated up, I gently turn this. See, it's moving a little bit, but then it stops. I'm just using like 2 fingers. And this is going to continue to be heated until it's flush, however long it takes. We have this limb nice and flush. Like I said, the time wasn't important. It probably was like 40 minutes. 40 minutes or so, but I got it nice and flush and did it gentle as not to strain the wood. Once the wood fibers get warm enough, then you slowly torque it in. You slowly walk it in and add clamps as you need, so you're not bowing it. You want to kind of put equal pressure as you go down. So from the riser to the midpoint, and then work on the outer. Okay. I don't know if you could see it or not, clearly or not, but as it comes off the riser and the fade out, there was a little bit of a wood dip. Now, if there's bumps and texture on the back, you're not going to straighten it out. But there is nothing in between the board and this limb. So I put another clamp here as not to stress the wood in any spot. And I'm slowly walking it in, and like I said, 2 fingers until it slips. Look. See that little bit of turn? And that's it. It slipped. So we're going to heat this up more, but look how far the limb has come in. All right, and we're going to work on this back and forth an inch. And how I can translate this to you is like when you have something, a plate, let's say a metal plate with bolts, all right, or if you're not mechanically inclined, let's something like a little engine head gasket, and there's 4 bolts on the head. You tighten one, snug up one bolt, snug them up, and then when you tighten it, you tighten one, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. You use a cross pattern so that it's not torqued. It's gradually snugging up without too much stress. So that's what we're doing with the wood. We're tightening here, then here, then here. Maybe we'll add a clamp. Whatever we got to do to not stress the wood out and get the wood soft so we can get it to conform to the jig, okay? As you can see, as we get in this part here straightened, I removed the clamps just to show you. As we got this straightened and flush, the rest of the limb is falling in line. So this was where the bend was. And once we fire harden it, it'll set it permanently, hopefully permanently, and we'll have no more problems with this bend. And it is a primitive bow. If there is a little hump or a little bump, or if it's off a little, it's okay. These bows are going to shoot incredible, even if they have a little character to the back, like bumps on the back or anything like that. These bows are going to shoot incredible. You're going to be impressed with how they shoot, especially hickory. I just want to be clear on what your expectations should be when you put a board on a backset jig and heat it up and trying to get it to conform the best that nature will allow it to, okay? You don't want to stress it out. Here's a typical hickory stave, and you can look, you see the bumps and humps, right? You're not going to take these bumps and humps out. You're not going to straighten this out. If there is a little kink or a bend or the limbs are up, you can heat them up and get them to conform. But as you're getting those limbs to conform, if on those limbs there's a hump or a bump, there's going to be spaces. You're going to get down just as much as you can. That's why I heat it up and I gently turn the clamps, and once my hand slips, that's it. If I continue to heat it and it don't go down, there's humps and bumps, I know that's the end of it. Okay? So I'm going to take that camera off and I'm going to go close up, and you're going to see all the air gaps in between, and that's okay. That's what you're going for. You can't make a bumpy stave into like a board you would buy at a store, a board bow, let's say, and get it to conform to a jig. You just can't. There's too much natural, beautiful texture. And after this is fire hardened, and we're going to put string grooves in or whatever we're going to do to it when we tiller it, that's why the yardstick method that you could see me use, that was from Dad Beckham, Keep Shannon, you just pay attention to the belly, the part that faces your belly. With the ruler, you'll mark tillering marks, and don't worry about the bumps and humps on the back of the bow. And if you do that and take your time and only go down an inch at a time, you won't break the bow. You'll have a beautiful bow, and the bow will have, you know how some of the Osage, you follow the grain and it has like a shape to it, right? Well, this is texture on the back that you're going to have when the bow is complete. You're going to see these humps and bumps on your finished bow, and it's okay. It's going to add character to it. It's going to look beautiful. All right? I'm going to take the phone off and just show you the gaps in between so you know what to expect. Can't fire harden this today because it's just too windy, and you can't fire harden in the wind, especially in the fall. You got dry leaves, everything all over the place. You want to be able to control it and always have water, a hose, or a fire extinguisher nearby, which I do. Okay, let me take it off and show you what it should look like on this fire hardening jig. I hope you can see the spaces in between the board and the limbs because of the natural humps and bumps that are in the wood. And we just get it down as much as we can. Now this riser is an interesting riser section because it has a bow on the top. It's a bow. You're not going to take this big block of wood and level it out. You're just going to get it as snug as you can. See the big gap here? Now sometimes when you're fire hardening this will soften up enough that you can gently as it's fire hardening, pull it in a little bit more and make it a little more in line, but you'll never get these humps or any of the texture out of the wood. So you go nice and easy, and whatever it is, it is. The other thing I will tell you, like it's too windy to fire harden today, I'm going to put this in the garage. Heat does two things. It softens the wood so you can bend it, and when it cools off, heat expands. When it cools off, before you grab it and move it, I want you to just grab each one of these clamps and gently give them a turn, and you'll be surprised. You'll be, oh, I wonder how come they loosened up, because heat expands, and after it's been sitting in your garage until you're ready to fire harden it, okay, it contracted a little bit. For like the first time, these videos can be boring, like watching paint dry for you, and that's going to be the end of this video. We're straightening out that crooked stave. I wish I had a picture of it before as a stave that was kind of twisted, and then after I shaped it up and trimmed it up to get it to straighten out, it's like night and day. So that's going to be the end of this video, and the next one will be just a typical fire hardening and tillering video, and depending who gets this, I may have them fire harden it, tiller it from this point on. All right, so that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Every day you get up is a great day. Make the best of it. I hope my boring videos help you become a better bowyer with less broken bows. All right, patience, which as I get older, I'm surprised I actually have a little more patience as I get older. Steps, baby steps, a little at a time. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching.